Hello there. Today we want to talk about scams that we can avoid um, to do with transfers as well as deployments. So I'm trying to use Zoom app today so that I'm able to demonstrate to you um, in the best possible way how you can avoid finding yourself in such a scam. So let me just try to screen share my screen here. So right. So first thing first, like how I was been saying, please remember to support me by subscribing to this channel. So you can click there on the word subscribe below this video, and you'll be able to receive notifications whenever I go live, whenever I share a video on some very important things to do with the civil service in Zambia. For example, today we're talking about um, how we can beware of transfer scams as well as deployments. So I want to share something that I will be very brief, but I hope that somebody out there is going to learn something from it. So we hear a lot of people have been deployed. We hear a lot of people get transfers from one place to another. And these transfers, they come in so many ways. Some of them apply for them. For example, I put up a procedure of the Teaching Service Commission. If you want to move to some province, you want to go to another district from where you are working from, you can simply apply for a transfer. And when you apply for a transfer, there is need for a permit vacancy to be found in the district you want to go to. Remember, permit vacancies are created due to so many reasons. One of them is an individual can be promoted, and the vacancy that that person was occupying is going to remain there. And some people unfortunately die, so the vacancy remains. And others are fired from the civil service, so equally there is a vacancy that is created there. So if a teacher in, for example, Mwinlunga would like to relocate to another province in Eastern Province, for example, Chadiza, then there is need to find a PMIC vacancy for such a one in Chadiza. So you simply have to um, apply for a transfer. So when you apply for a transfer, then it is going to undergo stages. It will move from your DEBS, it will go to your provincial education office. Then from the provincial education office, they will communicate with they will have correspondence with another office in the other province where you would like to move to. So the other province will have to confirm if there's a vacancy in there. So if there's a vacancy, they're going to write back to your province, indicating where the vacancy is, including the PMIC ID number, and then they will be able to communicate. Then the province from where you are, the PEO, are going to write an authority letter that you've been transferred. Other people get transfers through exchange. Others would simply find someone they can swap permit vacancies with, as well as workstations and districts, even provinces. So that is one of the ways in which individuals move. Okay. Of course, people that are applying for a transfer and those that are exchanging, we usually they have reasons for doing so. Others, they would want to be near families. Others, they would want to have access to medical care. Then others would simply want to have a change of place. So, plus many more reasons. However, we've had a lot of instances and reports that we hear that people are taking advantage of these needs of civil servants, of wanting to move to another place. So what people have been doing is they have been craftily, coming up with fake transfer letters, communicate to these people, tell them we are working from the Ministry of General Education, or we are working from the provincial, the headquarters, Ministry of General Education, as well as the Teaching Service Commission. They will do impersonate in that way, and even come up with well-written, well-done, well-crafted letters that would show that indeed somebody has been deployed. So, I mean, has been transferred. Um, so, in our discussion today, we simply want to look at one of these that we see, one of these letters that an individual can receive. Many of us have received transfer letters before, including myself, from where I was to where I am currently. So, the transfer letters that we receive, we call them authority letters that show that you have been transferred to another place. However, the format of these letters seem to be almost the same, and that has made a lot of people to take advantage and copy that format. They're able to go and come up with a date stamp from the streets, and the date stamp will be seen as if it is coming from legitimate sources. For example, the PO, the Teaching Service Commission, the Minister of General Education. Remember, technology today has made things easy. People can come up with these fake letters. So what has been discovered of late is we have people that have been advertising, especially for swap meets, those that have been using social media platforms to advertise for swap meets. So they would put their adverts there, and um, they would also indicate numbers there. Then we have fraudsters, people that would want to take advantage of other people's needs to transfer. So they will extract those numbers and then give them calls and promise them transfers. Unfortunately, some of our colleagues have fallen prey to such kind of tricks. And when they fall to such kind of tricks, others end up losing even money and other resources because of the same. And these people that call them, they would give them examples of transfers that have been purportedly been worked out for some other individuals. They would even promise that a transfer can be done within 24 hours, within a week. It is done once someone gives them what they want. So I want to look at some particular features of letters that we can, how you are able to tell that indeed this is not legitimate transfer letter. So in this, I would want to use an example of a deployment letter. This is not a transfer letter that we are seeing, but this is simply a deployment letter. Somebody received this letter that they have been deployed on replacements. So we are going to pick some of the things from this letter in regards to what we're talking about concerning fake transfers, scams, how we can avoid being scammed. So this letter here shows that it is actually coming from the Ministry of General Education. Let me just try to remove my, okay, all right. So as we can see there, it's showing that it is coming from Lusaka, and it was actually written in December 2020. And then staff appointment yourself. Let me just read through here. It says the above subject refers. I wish to inform you that the Teaching Service Commission, acting in the name of and on behalf of the Excellence, of His Excellency the President, has directed that you, for security reasons, have decided to hide the names of an individual. You, Dash, has been appointed to the teaching service on probation as a class teacher. And then we have G in salary scale G. And then there's a name of a primary school there at Simukombo Primary, Kazungula District, in the Ministry of General Education on PEMKI ID number. I've written the PEMKI ID number with effect from the date that you assume duties of the past. Okay, subject to the production of the satisfactory fingerprints, clearance report, and as well as medical certificates. So as we can see, this letter from the beginning, we can see the kind of legitimacy in it. For example, if you look at on the left top here, confidential, then the name of a person, then UFS, the provincial education officer, Southern Province, Choma. So this person was actually deployed in Southern Province, And the PO is actually located in Choma, and the person has been deployed in Kazungula. So we can see that from the beginning there that this letter seems that it is coming from a legitimate source. Okay, and then if you checked below there, please report to the provincial education officer, Southern Province, on arrival. Complete all the necessary appointment documents and submit them to the permanent secretary, Minister of General Education. Then it says Ted Mtanga, Assistant Director, HRMD, for the permanent secretary. And then we have, it was copied to the Auditor General, Commissioner Secretary, whatever, those things. So this is a letter that an individual might, those that get deployed on replacements, these are the kind of letters that they happen to receive for them to have these jobs. Now, let's look at the next one. So we have this letter again, same thing, staff deployment from Lusaka. All right. So pay attention there. We have on this one, confidential, everything, the format is all the same. Just check above there. Equally, even this one was done on January 25th, 2021. Now, check the differences that are noticeable on these two letters. So on the left-hand side, okay, here, confidential, I've hidden the name and the NRS number. Then check there, the provincial education officer, Copper Belt Province, Kalulushi. Already, something should be ringing here. On the Copper Belt, the PO office is actually located in Ndola. But now take note of what is happening there. Somebody has put Kalulushi there. This is one of the things that would make one to be worried, to say this should not be a legitimate letter. Equally, look at the date stamp there. It says Ministry of General Education, Provincial Education Office, January 25th. Now take note of those things below there. Provincial Education Officer, PO Box, Lusaka. All right, when someone has been deployed under replacement, the Ministry of General Education is not under Lusaka Provincial Education Office. Neither can one provincial education office deploy an officer in another province. All right. So here, the stamp is showing that the originality of this letter is coming from Lusaka. But now the person has been sent to the Copper Belt, where they're supposed to report in Kalulushi. Okay. Yeah, that's what this letter is indicating there. Because if you read through there, it says, I wish to inform you that the teaching service, acting in the name of blah blah, has directed that you be appointed to the teaching service on probation as a secondary school teacher in the Ministry of Education on PMQ ID number. I've hidden that one. Of course, I was trying to hide the PMQ ID number, and then accidentally I had to also overshadow the name of the school, supposed to be Chavuma Secondary School in the Copper Belt, which is in Kalulushi, of course. Right. Then we can see these abnormalities that are happening on this letter. And then check below there again, it says Jabin Rwanda, Dr. Permanent Secretary, Administration, Ministry of General Education, it ends there. Now check the other one. It says Ted Muntanga, of course we've not, yeah, Ted Muntanga, Assistant Director, HRMD. So when someone has been deployed, within the Ministry of General Education, there are departments. There are departments that are specialized in staffing, recruitment, human resource. And one of them is the one that we are seeing here, the HRMD, Human Resource Management Division. They are the ones that are mandated to deploy. But now look at this letter. There's no HRMD there showing, only the Permanent Secretary, Minister of General Education, it ends there. So if an individual has such a letter, remember we are using these ones for demonstration purposes. So if someone has such a letter, receives a letter, oh, you have been deployed. Usually these appointments, deployments, sometimes it could be that someone is lucky simply. And sometimes, deployments, replacements, they happen when someone has got big ears. You are hearing rumors of this, and then you apply, and then likely you get deployed. Sometimes it could be a word of mouth. Someone will share with you some information to say there's a vacancy, so apply, and then you apply. But we will realize that in the very process, some other people will take advantage of the needs of so many teachers that have been trained there. They're not yet deployed. They would want to take advantage of their desperation, probably because they need jobs, to survive. That's why they went to do a training. But because of them wanting to take advantage, they would even want to rob them of whatever little things they might have as their means of survival. So we need to be worried. So I was using this as one way to demonstrate, how we should be able to be aware of these fake transfers, fake deployments. We right now, as we are viewing this video, as we're talking, obviously there's someone out there who has been promised indeed that once you do this, then we are going to help you with a transfer. We've been seeing on social media, people now are even openly, uh, sharing, telling people to say they can push for a transfer for them. Once they give them what they want, it could be money, resources, and they would even give them a shorter period of time. They would tell them to say, if you did this, your transfer by tomorrow is likely to be out. So we need to be wary of such kind of things. Remember that getting a transfer or getting deployed, all of us, we need these things very much. Yes, getting a transfer to a place of your choice. Many of us would want to join families, so you'd want to get a transfer so much that you can work near your loved ones. Can become, if you are keeping, you have a family, you have children, you have a husband or a wife, you'd want to be coming from the same home. You go for work, you come back. You'd want to raise children together. So getting a transfer is something that cannot be avoided. But let's not again be so desperate to move to the point that other people would want to take advantage of our situation, like we are seeing, because this is going to bring a lot of problems. It is not going to make you get frustrated. It will also, kill your morale to work. Okay, so let's just be wary of this and make sure that we do the right thing. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. I'll be very happy for the support that you're going to give me. Um, I'll be sharing with you this information as days goes on. We'll be trying to remind each other on what we are supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. We need transfers. We need to work. We need jobs, but we need to take our time. Remember, God's time is the best. So in whatever situation you're in there, let's be wary of these things. There are no transfers that can be done within a second, within a day. There are no deployments. There are no shortcuts to these things. So the best way is to do the right thing, wait for God's time, simply do the right thing to get a job, do the right thing to get a transfer. Then by doing so, you are going to help so many people. So please remember to subscribe. You can click on this video. Below this video, there's a word there which you need to click so that you can support me as I also try to support you in the data that I'm trying to give. So hopefully this information is going to help many of us to avoid being scammed by individuals who would want to take advantage of our needs to get deployed. So thank you very much for taking time to watch this video. Remember to click on subscribe. Thank you so much.